Hey everybody, John Reep here.
And Sarah Tiana.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Fried Podcast.
Happy Friday.
Hope you're having a great holiday time, great Christmas. We are with our families right now.
Yeah.
But we managed to scrape something together for you.
Mm-hmm.
And, we hope you enjoy this weird, crazy hodgepodge of an episode of the Fried Podcast.
So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and sorry we're not together.
But we'll be back.
But we'll be back.
And we love you.
Yeah.
I'm a chicken fried, a cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Yeah, what's happening? John Reep here. Welcome to another episode of the Fried Podcast. We're doing this one sans Sarah Tiana. We are, Sarah and I are in different parts of the country right now. She might be in another country, as a matter of fact. I think she was going somewhere in Europe for Christmas. Anyway, just me. Well, not just me. Sitting here with two very special people who you've heard on the podcast before. We got one, David Reep. Say hey, David.
Hello, David.
Can you say it louder into the microphone?
Hello, David.
There you go. And then say hey, Betty.
Hey.
There we go.
Hey, Aaron. Mom
and Dad sitting right here with us on this episode of Fried Podcast, everybody. And this is also very special because today's Dad's birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And are you having a good birthday today?
It is wonderful. If it were any better, someone would need to change my diaper.
Oh, my goodness. Right out the gate. Well, luckily, we don't have to do that. How old are you today, Dad? Do you want to talk about that?
I'm not sure. How old am I, Mom? 73.
73. You're going to have to plant that right on your chin.
When you get so old that you don't know how old you are, then you're too old for it to matter.
73.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mom, how old are you?
70.
70. Okay. Now, Sarah and I, we always start out a little podcast with a personal question. And since Sarah's not here, I'm going to have to ask you guys a personal question. And it's a simple one. How'd you meet? Take us through memory lane. How'd you guys get together?
Well, your mother and I met at an institution.
Uh-oh.
It was called Catawba Valley Technical Institution,
Uh-huh.
right out of high school. Wasn't sure I was even going to go to a school after high school, but I was kind of talked into it. And like the first or second day there, I ran into this beautiful little girl with big blue eyes and big smile.
That's Mom we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Mom.
Good.
And actually, a friend of mine that that rode back and forth to school with me, Mike Huss, as a matter of fact, I looked at him just as soon as I saw her, and I said, Mike, I'm going to marry her. And he said, you don't even know her. And he said, that's not an obstacle.
You're pretty confident.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was going to happen.
And you hadn't even met her. You just saw her, and you're
right, yeah, I knew. I just knew. You hear about this in movies and TV and storybooks, and there's always one for everyone, and that's always just been a bunch of malarkey to me, but I believe it. I believe it was true here.
How old were you, do you think? So you were like 19, 20?
Yeah, I was in the early 20s.
Yeah? Well, Mom's making a face. What does that face mean, Mom?
How old were you, Mom?
I was 18 because we just graduated from high school and went directly into CVCC.
CVCC is now, it used to be CVTI, which is Catawba Valley Technical Institute, but now it is known as CVCC, Catawba Valley Community College. So when Dad said they met in an institution, that's exactly what that meant.
Yes.
There you go. So, Mom, what's your memories of meeting Dad? Did he come up and just sweep you off your feet? Was he a knight in shining armor?
Not exactly. I saw him in the hallways, but it wasn't until we had a class together that I was the only girl. And
oh, my.
I sat at the front because I didn't want to see any of those guys, and David sent up a little card, and as it was coming up to me, all the guys were giggling, and it said, do exactly as I say. I'm a volunteer fireman. Do exactly as I say.
Uh-huh. Dad's coaching her right now. We can't hear you, Dad, because you're...
Lay down on the floor
Uh-huh.
and do exactly as I tell you to.
Oh, okay.
After that class was over, I went to the office and transferred out of that class.
So Dad harassed you enough to get you out of the class.
Yes.
Well, Dad, back to you. What was the thought there? I guess it worked in the long haul, but were you like, well, that didn't work. I scared her out of the class. And did you talk to her after the note?
I did.
Yeah.
We
So you gave her the note.
Talked in the hall some.
Do exactly as I say. Lay on the floor. I'm a voluntary fireman.
Yeah, it was in the guise of giving respiratory therapy to a victim of a fire. So,
Okay. So your joke was I'm going to come up there and give you a CPR.
Yeah, she didn't really see the humor in it.
Yeah.
So we met in the hall a time or two after that, and I would always make a point to go out of my way to speak to her and smile at her. And then we started a little conversation.
Yeah.
And every morning we'd meet at the front office area. There's a radiator there, and we'd always hover around that radiator. And
then that's where the magic happened.
That's where the magic happened.
All right. Well, thank you for enlightening us. I'm sure our listeners wanted to know that. I on the podcast we do all kinds of stuff. We got different segments we like to do. But this one just kind of happened. This is just sort of news. You know, your son loves the Carolina Panthers.
I do.
Yeah. And I just recently saw somewhere where Jerry Richardson.
Ownership.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Jerry Richardson is going to sell
How about that?
the Carolina Panthers.
P Diddy, maybe.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. But you know why he's selling it? Because I guess he got accused of some sort of sexual misconduct, they're calling it these days.
Yeah, I think he got some heat, so he decided just to get out of the kitchen.
I think so. So, yeah. And then P Diddy decides to get on the internets and say that since it's up for sale that he wants to buy it. And I have a little clip here of what P Diddy said.
Oh, read it.
And we're going to play it, and I'm going to play it.
Oh, okay.
It's audio. You can't hear it unless you want to hear it.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
All right, so just be still for a minute while I play this. We'll hear what P Diddy has to say about buying the Carolina Panthers. And listen to how he
Okay, y'all, this just in breaking news. The North Carolina Panthers.
North Carolina.
Okay? North Carolina
Okay,
Panthers.
it's Carolina, dum-dum.
Are up for sale. I believe it's time to turn the franchise over to new ownership. Well, I need to send a message out to everybody in the beautiful state of North Carolina.
It's South Carolina, too, dum-dum.
I will be the best NFL owner that you can imagine. I will immediately address the Colin Kaepernick situation
He doesn't play for us.
and put him in the running for next year's starting quarterback. It's just competition.
We have
baby.
Cam
It's just
Newton.
competition. But also, I will have the best halftime show, the best selection of music, and we will win Super Bowl after Super Bowl.
Okay, so I had to stop that. It was getting annoying.
Well,
P Diddy, you didn't hear this. He's saying he's going to buy the North Carolina Panthers, and it's called the Carolina.
It's
First of all, he
Carolina
doesn't know what he's talking about. I think it's BS because he's just trying to get more publicity because he hasn't done anything in a while. He's got a lot of money, but he's not famous as he used to be. He doesn't have to put a song out in a while. And in fact, he just not long ago came out and said something like he's changing his name again. Like he's changed his name 4 times already. And now he's changing it to One Brother Love.
formerly known as P Diddy.
P Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs, Puffy, P Diddy. I mean, I don't know. There's probably more. But
Does he have any experience in football ownership?
not that I know of. I mean,
can't-
Snoop Dogg would be more qualified
yeah, exactly.
because he at least coaches Little League football. I think, you know what I think should happen? Me and you should go in, Dad.
And we could do it.
Yeah.
We so could do it.
I know you love football.
I do.
You said you stayed up the other night and watched the Falcons Tampa Bay game.
I did. Saw the whole
Did
thing.
you really watch it?
I did. I watched
Why?
the whole
Why?
thing.
I know you don't really care about football.
I got kind of interested in it.
Okay. Well, it's a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheerleaders look good too.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's other channels for that. But Yeah, I think what should happen is Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now, you know I've been doing these Dale Earnhardt Jr. retirement reports.
I do.
And I put one out just as a little jokey joke saying that NASCAR guys should buy it. I mean, what's more North Carolina than NASCAR?
There ain't nothing no more North
So you
Carolina.
want to keep it the family, you want to keep it country, you want to keep it Carolina. I'm calling you out, Dale Earnhardt Jr. All right?
Be the NASCAR and FFFL.
I mean, exactly. Think about it. You got Dale Earnhardt Jr., Joe Gibbs. You know Joe Gibbs,
I
Dave?
do.
Okay, who's Joe Gibbs?
Joe Gibbs is a.
Okay, so we're not sure if Dad knows who Joe Gibbs is. You said you did. Do you know? It's okay. I'll tell you.
I don't have a clue.
Okay, Joe Gibbs. Oh, no, did you just break a chair?
I did. Go ahead.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, wow, something just cracked. We're in the living room with a Christmas tree behind us and these little wooden chairs, and I think I heard something crack. Dad, don't hurt yourself.
Oh, I'm good.
Joe Gibbs was the head football coach of the Washington Redskins
I knew that.
when they won all the Super Bowls. But he left football to go to NASCAR, and he was the owner of some teams that did very well, some NASCAR teams.
Well, there's the guy.
Well, I'm saying if Joe Gibbs, football guy, can go to NASCAR,
Oh, yeah.
why can't NASCAR guy, Dale Earnhardt Jr., go to football?
That's right.
Keep it country, keep it Carolina.
Maybe make a coalition of drivers.
Coalition of drivers, yeah, like different ones. Whoever's retired and got money.
Yeah, all the gingers or all the
Juniors.
juniors. Or,
Yeah, ginger
all the juniors would be better.
Well, there's like 500 juniors.
There is.
In NASCAR. In fact, I made a list over there somewhere. Mom, will you do me a favor? Over there, next to the newspaper, I think you'll see a little list of all the juniors. And I did this as a Dale Earnhardt Jr. retirement report. By the way, if you're not watching those, you got to get on it. And I'm kind of upset that Snapchat got rid of the filter I was using as Dale Earnhardt Jr. retirement report. So I had to come up with other ways. Anyway, would you like to hear all the juniors
Please.
that are in NASCAR?
Yes, I do.
Well, the famous
Is this
one,
all of them or just most of them?
it's all of them minus one.
Okay.
The most famous one is retired. That's Dale Earnhardt Jr.
All right.
But, people who are in NASCAR, if you just say junior, they know you're talking about Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah.
But I think that's biased towards other
Yeah,
juniors.
like Cher. I mean, everybody knows who Cher is. She
But
doesn't
that's
need a
just
last
one
name.
person.
Yeah.
That's right. So I'm going to read you all the other juniors. You got Martin Truex Jr., Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Darrell Wallace Jr., Ray Black Jr., Ernie Francis Jr., Scott Lagasse, I'm not sure, Jr., Sam Hornish Jr. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 juniors, not counting Dale. That's 8 juniors
And that's just the current drivers, right?
in NASCAR.
Now, you still have another pool that you could resource from, like the retired drivers, like Fireball Roberts Jr.,
Fireball Roberts Jr.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Derek Jr.
Are these real people?
Yeah.
You're lying to me.
No, I'm not. This is
Well, they were juniors?
Yeah.
No kidding. Well, there you go. We could have our own junior NFL league just in Carolina. So there we go. I'm actually hoping that someone besides P Diddy buys it. I don't think he's going to buy it. I think he's just trying to get publicity for himself once again. I'm calling BS.
He's trying to rub some save
See?
on Colin
Old
Kaepernick.
save rubber.
Yeah.
So recently, I made Mom and Dad watch that documentary that we've talked about on the last episode of Fried, or the one before. I'm not sure which one it was. You can do the research. It's out there. Finders Keepers. True story. Happened here, not far from here, a little town called Maiden. And, Dad, what'd you think?
That was the best thing. I'm so glad you made me watch that.
Yeah?
I had no idea that it was going to be so funny. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
And it's real people, and I didn't know that us rednecks talk so funny.
Oh, my gosh.
It's hilarious.
It keeps us original.
It does.
Mom, what'd you think? Give us your thoughts.
Well, I thought it was sad.
It was sad, wasn't it?
It was.
There were some parts very sad.
This Wood guy came from a very wealthy family. He ended up losing his leg in an airplane crash that caused his dad to die.
Yep.
And then he was so hooked on drugs after he got out of the hospital And then he started drinking and taking drugs, and he just lost himself.
Yeah.
And that went on for a long time until he finally got his leg back.
You know, you hear the beginning of it. It's like, well, here's what happened. Guy lost his leg, puts it in a public storage unit. Another guy finds it and then tries to make money off of it. That right there is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But then you actually hear what actually happened. It's pretty sad. And it's got a happy ending, though.
Yes, it's got a
I mean, it was actually not how everything was kind of cool at the end with mom and the son and sobriety.
This fellow named Shannon Wisnant.
Yeah.
Is a kind of a Mr. Haney of Green Acres. He goes around and buys up things and resells them, and he's always got a deal cooking.
Yeah.
And he bought a storage unit.
Oh, no. Yes. We've already talked about it in the last episode. I wanted to get your opinion on it. You guys liked it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
Well, you know, I discovered something new within this because this is the second time I've seen it. That Shannon Wisnick guy, you know, he was just searching for fame.
He was.
He just wanted to be famous.
Looking for the camera.
I mean, he was on, was it the Jerry Springer show before all this happened?
Yep.
You know, just because he wanted to be on TV and have people laugh at him and just, you know, cameras flashing and whatnot.
And he was on an English version of Jerry Springer show also.
It was actually an English, European version of like a Jay Leno type show, like a late night talk show.
That's close.
Where that was very close. You were so close. But in this second time watching it, he mentioned a comedian that he wanted to be like. And I was going to ask if you ever heard of this dude named Gene Tracey.
I didn't. I saw that album pop up on the screen when he was talking about him. He did some jokes from Gene Tracey.
Right.
And it was, I had never heard of this guy, but I think I'm going to hunt him up.
Well, I'm
going
going
to
to
find
play
out some stuff for him. You got some stuff?
Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to hear it. Here we go. Just put this in.
Heard about the trucker that used to come in off a run? Every time he'd come home, he'd be drunk. Go to bed, start letting farts.
Oh, fart joke.
Start with little farts. Build up to bigger farts. 15 minutes later, every night, he'd blow the sheets off the bed with his fart. His wife told him, he said, honey, she said, you're going to come home one night and fart your guts out. He said, I ain't going to do that. She said, one of these nights, you're going to come home and fart your guts out. About 2 weeks later, she had fried some chickens for dinner. Saved the chicken guts and put them under the bed. That night, sure enough, the old man came home drunk, went to bed, started letting farts, let a couple of little ones, let a couple of big ones. Just before he let the big one, she got out of bed, shoved these chicken guts in the bed. She went to the bathroom. He let the big fart, blew the sheets off the bed. She waited about 10 minutes, came back in. This truck driver was sitting on the edge of the bed, wide awake and stone sober. She looked at him and she said, baby, what happened? He said,
Oh, no.
You missed the punchline.
What the heck? It just quit.
honey, you told me some night it's going to happen. I was going to fart my guts out. Said, well, it finally happened tonight. Said, but with the help of God and these two fingers, I managed to save every damn one of them.
You put him back, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Gene Tracey, truck stop number 4. He's a truck stop comedian. Now, I was trying to look him up on Wikipedia because apparently he sold a lot of albums. I mean, I'd never heard of this guy.
He sounds a little like Larry the Cable Guy.
It sounds like Jerry Clower.
And Jerry Clower, combination there. Could have been, maybe he's their baby.
Maybe so. But I'd never heard of the guy. But I'm going to read you a little bit about Gene Tracey. Okay. Comedian, MC, and recording artist. After leaving home at an early age, Tracey, still called Morris, secured employment as a promoter for a regional circus called the Paul Miller Carnival. Have you heard of such a thing?
No, I have not.
All right, because he says he's from North Carolina here.
Maybe it's a Barnum and Bailey spinoff.
Yeah. His comedy career began after he was asked to perform at an event where the featured guest had failed to appear. Tracey filled in by relating a few of the jokes he had overheard in the various truck stops he frequented while traveling. A radio station executive was present and subsequently helped Tracey find bookings at other clubs in Charlotte, North Carolina as Gene Morris. These appearances soon led to his second discovery, this time by a recording producer who suggested they change his name to Gene Tracey. Gene Tracey went on to record dozens of comedy albums in his career, selling more than 20 million.
Wow.
20 million
That's
albums.
incredible.
Most of them, a vast majority of them on the popular 8-track cartridge format. Tracey appeared in several radio and television film roles. He died of a heart attack in El Paso at the age of 52. But yeah, I never heard of this guy.
Need a Tracey revival.
But that's what this dude Shannon Wisnett was trying to.
Yeah.
Like that was his idol. He's like, I just want to be like Gene Tracey.
Well, he had his goals set high.
Yeah. I mean, reachable.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he could have done that.
It's doable.
He could have done it from his own trailer.
As a matter of fact, I think he did it.
Well, I think he surpassed Gene Tracey.
He may have.
I mean, he got a foot. Well, that's odd. Now, he does sound like a lot like Jerry Clower, though, huh?
I love the way he would misappropriate words in his sentences. Like,
Which one?
Well, for example,
Are you talking about Gene Tracey or Shannon Wisnett?
Shannon Wisnett.
Okay.
Yeah, he would use what was it, Mom? Instead
Perspire.
he would use perspire instead of the word inspire or.
Is it inspire? What was he trying to say? Not aspire.
Aspire. Yeah.
Aspire?
Yeah, but he would say, if you perspire.
Yeah.
To be.
He did that twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I think he is playing it up.
No,
You think that?
no, I think that's real.
Yeah, I think 90% it was real, but when the camera was turned on him, he knows that that's kind of what they're looking for, is this backwoods.
You think he's that good?
I think, well, once the camera's on you for a long time and that's what people are laughing at, you know how to respond, what to do to make them laugh.
Well, he got me.
And I think that's what I'm saying
convinced.
only maybe 10 to 20% of the time was he doing it. The rest was I think was real.
Yeah.
But crazy. There you go, folks. Gene Tracey. Let's go out and get some new albums.
Make some posters.
I know we keep switching back and forth between Gene Tracey and Shannon Wisnett. Gene Tracey, the comedian. Never heard of him. You remember one time? This is I remember when from you and Mom. You guys got a hold of a tape by some comedian named Roho MD.
Oh yeah, he lives in Morganton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about him other than he is a local comic. Have
you ever seen him perform live?
No, I've just heard of him.
Okay.
And he does restaurants. You know, he
does he?
Yeah, or he did. I'm that's been a pretty good while back. He probably doesn't do it anymore.
Do you know what restaurants he's played?
No, I don't.
Mom's getting a telephone call. Mom, you remember Roho MD? I do. All right. Mom's going to answer the phone real quick. Dad, Roho MD. Okay. I remember you guys had the tape and we listened to it. You're like, have you heard this guy? And you're playing the tape. I was like, no, I've never heard of him. But I know after listening to the tape, well, I don't know. I'm just saying I feel like 60, 70% sure he recorded this like in his basement or something.
Yeah, he probably did.
And had canned laughter. Because it sounded like the same audience laugh every time after every joke.
Yeah, he was pretty.
Do you ever see the movie King of Comedy with
Kings of Comedy?
No. This is a movie that came out in the late 70s, early 80s.
No.
Okay. Well, there was a character named Rupert Pumpkin.
No, I've never heard of him.
Who was delusional. And he lived in his parents' basement. His wallpaper was an audience looking at him.
Oh, my.
And he would practice. His dream was to be on the late night talk shows. And he would record his own little talk show in his basement. And I think that's what Roho MD did. I think he just sort of recorded his own jokes and then put laughter to it. So, Mom, do you remember how you guys got a hold of this tape, the Roho MD tape?
I think someone, either David worked with or I worked with, brought it and wanted us to listen to it, and we just fell in love with it. And I bought one, or David bought one.
Well, you know,
it's around here somewhere.
You never met him?
No, never met him.
You don't know where he's performed or anything?
Have no idea.
I think it's because he doesn't really do it.
We had friends that were actual friends of his, though.
Yeah.
Red and Francis Robinson knew him.
He came to one of my shows in Myrtle Beach.
You told me about that.
Yeah. Would you like to hear it again?
No.
Too bad.
Actually, I would.
I'm going to tell the audience.
There you go for it.
So I'm performing at, I think it was a comedy cabana in Myrtle Beach. Probably, I don't know. Let's see here, 2002, something like that. Guy walks up to me in the back, like I'm just in the back of the room. He recognized me or knew me as the headliner. He kind of came up to me and he's got a cowboy hat on, and he kind of walks up to me and he goes, "Hello, do you know me?" I said, "I don't. I'm sorry." He goes, "Roho,
Mr. Big."
He said, "Roho." I said, "No, I'm sorry, I don't know you, Roho." He goes, "Roho MD." I said, "Dr. Roho?" He said, "No, the MD stands for mentally disturbed." I said, I haven't had the pleasure. And then later on in life, you guys show up with the tape. So I feel like Gene Tracey and Roho MD.
Barney Fife used the MD word a couple times. Some thought he was a doctor, but it just meant Mayberry deputy.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And did you notice that the other guy in the documentary you watched had an Andy Griffith shirt on?
Yes, I did. It was good.
Full circle. Circle of life. All right. So there you go. Mom and Dad both watched and liked and approve of Finders Keepers.
Yeah.
Now we're sitting here on Dad's birthday. Right as we talk, it is December 20. And Christmas is around the corner. We got the Christmas tree right behind Mom and Dad. We like to watch crazy Christmas movies. We happened upon one last night that I've not seen in quite some time. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Ernest.
You want me to do it?
What was his last name?
Ernest P. Worrell.
Worrell, yeah.
Yeah, it's Ernest Goes to Christmas. And I forgot about how funny that guy was.
Not to be confused with Ernest P. Bass.
Ernest T. Bass.
T. Bass, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Shannon Miller is texting me like crazy right now, and I keep getting these little stupid notifications. She always does this.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm in the middle of something with an iPad or iPhone, that's when she starts texting me. Anyway, so thanks a lot, Shannon. Ernest P. Is it Ernest P. Bass?
Ernest T. Bass.
Ernest T. Bass.
And Ernest P. Worley.
Ernest P. Worrell. Yeah.
Worrell.
I think they have a lot in common, actually.
Yeah.
So I remember these commercials were popular, back in the day with Ernest P. Worrell. You remember those, Dad?
I do.
Do you remember what he was actually doing the commercials for?
No, I don't. I remember there was one where he was on a ladder, and he was always talking to a fictional character named Vern.
Right.
So you know what I mean, Vern?
Know what I mean, Vern?
Yeah. And there was one where he was leaning in a window from outside in, and somebody slammed the window on his fingers.
Yeah.
And
I remember that one.
A couple of those.
We reenacted that one.
We did.
I remember when you came home with a camcorder.
That's right.
We had fun out in the neighborhood recording all of us playing basketball and telling jokes, and then it's like, well, let's do other things. And so we made our own fake commercial where I played Ernest P. Worrell and you were Vern holding the camera.
Yeah.
So we never heard Vern.
No, you couldn't hear him or see him, but he was just there.
Yeah, and I was like, what? I was like watching the windows from the outside. And you were the manager of a Goodyear, so I was pretending that the commercial was for Goodyear tires.
Yeah.
And you guys had a sale. And then I remember in this video, you had put something, I think it was a can of shoe polish, at the very bottom of the windowsill because you were going to slam it down
you got a good
on
memory.
my fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't want to actually hit my fingers, so you used this can of shoe polish as a stopper. And I'm doing, hey, Vern, you got to come down here. David Reeps got a sale for Goodyear tires. And I'm like, hey, Vern, and you just went slam, and you slammed it down, and it worked. It didn't hit my fingers. But I started going, oh, hey, Vern, like that. And then you were leaving the room, and I stopped. Like I thought, well, he's done. But I didn't know that you were still recording. I was like, oh. And you went like this with your hands, like, keep going. I was like, so I switched from like, hey, Vern, hey, Vern, oh, that kind of stuff. That was a lot of fun.
Maybe that's where your career started.
I think it is.
It could be.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of dumb stuff, ain't we, kid?
Yes, we have. So let me give you a little history. maybe to remind you of what some of these commercials were.
Okay.
In 1980, the first commercial featuring Varney as Ernest advertised an appearance. They were doing a commercial for a amusement park in Bowling Green, Kentucky, to advertise that the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders were going to make an appearance there. So that's the very first one he did in 1980. The character was franchised for use in markets all over the country and was often used by dairies to advertise milk products. For example, the dairy bar and hamburger chain Brahms ran several advertisements using Ernest's catchphrase as it was spelled in his registered trademark. You know what I mean, Vern?
Know what I mean?
Know what I mean, Vern? Yeah. Purity Dairies, based in Nashville, Pine State Dairy in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Oakhurst Dairy in Maine ran commercials that were nearly identical, but with the dairy name changed. So I don't know of many commercial characters that were franchised.
No.
I mean, since then.
Now, did he do
then.
that before he did the before he had his movie career?
Yeah. Well, this is how it happened.
This is what started it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is how it started the whole thing.
Wow.
And so, he started doing these commercials, and then before you know it, they caught on. Other companies started using the same character. I mean, that today that'd be, oh gosh, I don't know, like Flo from Progressive commercials going off and not doing another insurance commercial, but a whole nother
TV,
like dairy commercials or like Chick-fil-A or something different. So I mean, that's how popular that character was.
It was very popular,
and it went on to be in lots of movies. I mean, how many movies did he do? I mean, the
Didn't
first
you
one
say
he
there
did
was like 7 of the one.
I'll tell you, the first one he did was Ernest Goes to Camp. That was in 1986.
Yeah.
Then after that, and that's the one.
That's the one I remember.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Yep.
And the one that we watched last night was Ernest Saves Christmas.
Yeah.
Which I highly recommend.
That was good. That was really good.
I mean, what was some of your favorite parts of that movie?
Well, the snake bit in the back of the truck.
Okay.
The expressions on his face. Yes, he nailed it. And the fact that he had a young girl who had run out of a restaurant to avoid a bill and jumped in his cab, and they ran off together.
Right.
And she stiffed him, too, as part of the bill.
For the fare.
Yeah, didn't pay it.
Yeah. Didn't pay the restaurant bill,
right.
Didn't pay the fare.
And that they have never met each other before.
Right.
But she stayed with him all through the rest of this movie. That's a little creepy.
It's very creepy, and it wasn't even talked about.
No.
Like, it wasn't even a subject back then.
And her character in the movie appeared to be like
a little Lolita.
15 to 16 years old. Maybe.
Yeah, something very bizarre.
So,
yeah, we should dig into that and find out what's up with that.
I don't know if I want to dig or not.
Well, that was his second movie, Ernest Saves Christmas. Now, I remember Mom laughing hard at a certain scene. Remember that scene you laughed hard at?
Yeah, it's
It was
where
the side
there was
characters.
but the box was started moving, and then I think something popped out of it.
It
and
was like an ostrich's face or a swan or something.
And this one guy got so scared that he screamed like a girl, and his eyes got real big. And this other guy had a
Fire extinguisher.
and started just
Hosing him down.
hosing this thing down, and he didn't have any kind of expression. He just stared at it and just sprayed and sprayed and sprayed.
Mama, you were laughing so hard last
I
night.
was.
I had to rewind that scene just to hear you laugh again.
It was good.
That guy reminds us of someone that we know.
Uncle William.
That's right. I was going to let you say it, not me.
Okay.
I highly recommend watching that. If you like a good cheeseball, cheesy Christmas movie
We love Uncle
that you can
William.
watch with your family and, not have to think too much and just laugh at a silly guy's face.
If you just want a belly laugh,
Yeah.
it's there.
Or just, it's just goofball, goofy. It's the perfect amount of cheese.
I think that's going to be one of our new traditions, along with a Christmas story.
Yeah.
I think we're going to add this one in.
Oh, it has to
with
be.
it, yeah.
We're going to make Jason watch it.
Yeah.
And everybody else.
Yes, yes.
We'll watch it from the beginning.
Mr. Engineer.
I
has
just
to watch
forgot
it.
how funny Jim Varney was.
He's hilarious.
He did stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't know that until you told me when we were watching it.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned that he does a lot of shtick like Jim Carrey does.
Yeah.
And
Well, he uses he's like a walking cartoon.
His mode, yeah.
He had a lot of characters, and he was just he was very rubber-faced, like Jim Carrey. And I actually remember there was a couple of times where And I don't know who came first. I know Jim Carrey started in Canada at an early age. According to this on Wikipedia, Jim Varney was doing stuff by age of 15. At the age of 15, he portrayed Ebenezer Scrooge at local theater production. And by 17, he was performing professionally in nightclubs and coffee houses.
Wow.
At 17.
That's pretty good.
Jim Varney. Now, Jim Carrey, both named Jim, both rubber-faced, both make a lot of funny faces, and even some of the same jaw movements, I noticed. Both have big mouths and big teeth.
A lot of teeth.
So it's interesting to me that both of them performed at the Comedy Store. Both of them have their headshots on the wall. Both of them are what we call paid regulars at the Comedy Store. So I'm curious if any of Jim Varney rub off on Jim Carrey, because Jim Varney was older than Jim Carrey and was probably on that stage first. So I'm curious to find that out.
I bet you're right about that.
I mean, they're so similar.
Yeah.
He's like the redneck Ace Ventura. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I found out, I looked up just to see if I could find any classic Jim Varney stand-up, because most people know him as the character. He also played Jed Clampett on the Beverly Hillbillies, the movie.
Oh, I forgot about that. He did, didn't he?
Yeah. He's done lots of characters.
He looked like Jed Clampett.
Yeah. And he's got that deep voice.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. So I'm going to play a little clip of rare footage, rare stand-up from Jim Varney. Here we go. Hopefully this will play. Jim Varney, 1992. Let's give it a listen.
I'll tell you what. I opened for Mel Tillis for a while in Reno. He used to play Reno a lot. And as you know, Mel stutters. Well, he came through town here one time, and I decided the best way to entertain him was to take him to Keeneland to see a real Kentucky horse race. That was a mistake. He looked on the program. He says, Varney? Look on a program. Yeah? Look at number 7. Stuttering Sam. That's me. They used to call me that when I was a kid. You know, I'm gonna put $1,000 on that horse. A dime I got with me.
I wish I could see what he looks like.
Well, it's your money, Mel. Go for it. He put $10,000. This horse was 90-1. He put it on the nose. He had tickets hanging out of every pocket. I said, Mel, you sure you want to do this? I'm telling you, that's the best piece of luck I've seen in a long time. Well, we go down to the rail, and they take off, and sure enough, number 7, Stuttering Sam, comes flying out of the gate. He's first to the quarter post. He's first at the half mark. He's first at the 3/4 mark. Suddenly, he just takes a right, goes over the outside fence, and runs into the parking lot and starts running around a Pinto. Next horse goes on us. Mel's standing there tearing up tickets. He says, Varney, let's go talk to that trainer. Okay. We go down to the paddock. Hey, buddy, is that your horse out there? That a Stuttering Sam? Yeah. What the hell's wrong with that horse? Oh, you mean him running off a track like that? Shoot, we don't know. We've tried and tried and tried to train him out of that. He is a fast horse. He's like lightning, but he does that ever so often. Well, can't you train him out of it? No, we've tried. See, we had a couple ideas on it. We had a couple of big wood chocks. That's that big. And we nailed them on his inside feet, kind of pushed him off that rail. That worked for a while. And then he started doing it again. Well, what else you do? Well, we had a blacksmith make us a eye patch for him, made out of sheet steel for one side of his head, so he couldn't see that outside rail. That worked for a while, and then he got wise to it. Okay. Then what? Well, we had the blacksmith make us a couple of big lead horseshoes about that thick. Put them on his other feet, figuring that just the sheer weight of it would kind of pull him off that rail. You know, what you ought to try? What? Get you a little bitty, a little piece of lead about that big and put it in his right ear. Well, how you keep it in there? A gun.
There you go. Jim Varney, 1992 stand-up. I wish y'all could see, and I'll post a picture on our Instagram page of what he's wearing. It's classic 1992 clothes. He's got a yellow pants with these big pleats. He's got a yellow sports jacket with the sleeves pushed up and a nice shirt.
Looks like a zoot suit.
It's like a zoot suit. He totally does.
He's got a great voice.
Yeah.
I mean, really, he could be an announcer.
Well, he's got smoker's voice.
Yeah.
Like it's real deep.
Exactly.
And that's how he died.
Lucky Strike voice.
He died of lung cancer.
Not so lucky.
So, that's right. Not so lucky with the lung cancer there. But, I like to chalk this up as sort of like a member-dim, like a good, this is a segment we do on our show where we like highlight people from the South who've actually went and made it, had a good career.
Yes, he had an excellent career.
And it doesn't get bigger than Jim Varney. I mean, the guy came from Lexington, Kentucky, out to Hollywood and made a big name for himself.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We need a PBS moment of silence here.
Well, we've lost Mom. Is she okay? Mom's not feeling well.
I think she went to puke.
Oh, that's not good. She got like a stomach thing or something. Well, folks, we're going to do another segment here in a minute. Mom's got an interesting sort of hometown news segment that we were going to do. I don't know if she's okay or not. About a certain singer from this area. And until she gets back, I'll just read you guys some tour dates. Check us out online. Sarah and I are both on the internet. Everything for me is just at John Reep. Just at JONREEP. You already know that. As I talk right now, it's this 20th of December. So my next gig is going to be the 27th and 28th in Huntsville, Alabama. A little club called Stand Up Live. It's a fun club. And then on the 29th through the 31st, I'm going to be at Zany's in Nashville. Come check me out. Big New Year's Eve gig. That's going to be fun. And then in January, I'll be in the Cincinnati area. It's a club called the Funny Bone, big chain. You've heard of it. It's actually in Liberty Township. That's January 11 through 14. And it looks like Mom is back. Are you okay, Mom? Let Mama say so. Are you all right? You feeling bad?
I'm not feeling too very good.
I'm sorry.
But I am going to give this little thing on.
Hometown news segment, we call it.
Yes, he was a local band leader.
Yeah.
He was Harry Deal in the Galaxies.
So his name was Harry Deal, and he had a backup band called the Galaxies.
Yes.
Okay.
And they were, let's see, he was from Taylorsville.
Oh, no kidding.
He formed a band in 1959, and they started playing at frat parties and other small gigs. And the radio stations started playing their songs, and they became more and more popular. So then he was an item. He opened up for the Stones.
Yeah.
For James Brown.
He opened for the Stones and James Brown.
and the Dave Clark Five.
No, does he have any popular songs that I might know?
I know of two, I Still Love You and Hey Baby.
Huh. While you keep talking, I'm going to see if I can find one of those songs. Which
Okay.
one do you think is more famous?
Probably I Still Love You.
I Still Love You. Okay, let me see if I
And
can
he
find
also opened up for the Young Rascals and Frankie Valli and the Four Tops, and he hung out a lot with the Beach Boys.
it. No kidding. From Taylorsville.
Yeah, he performed a lot down at the Myrtle Beach Pavilion in South Carolina and was very popular down there. And then in 1967, he and his brother, I think his brother's name was Larry.
Larry Deal?
I think so.
Harry and Larry? That's great.
And the brothers opened up a studio in Taylorsville to record all their songs. And later on, he opened up a restaurant, dance hall area. David and I...
Wait, was
along
it
with-
here?
In Taylorsville.
In Taylorsville. Do you remember the name of it? Is it still there? Dad. Oh, go ahead. I couldn't hear
It
you.
might have been the chicken pickings. I don't know. They served
Oh, my gosh.
mostly chicken, and you took it and sat down on some benches, and it was a dirt floor.
Wow.
They sang and performed where you could get up and dance, and you could just sit there listen to the music.
Wow.
It was very popular back in the 67,
The chicken
68,
pickings.
69.
Wow, that's awesome. I wish that was still here now. I'd like to go check that out.
And let's see, later, and as a joke, anytime David told me anything he thought was really big, I'd say, well, Big Hairy Deal in the Galaxies.
Right.
Well, one night we were at the movies, and we were at the concession stand ordering some popcorn, and David said, look over there on the other side of you. And I looked, and he said, may I introduce to you Harry Deal? And I looked, and I said, well, nice to meet you, Big Hairy Deal in the Galaxies.
Well,
So
did other people call him Big Harry Deal? Or is
No,
that just you?
I just said, well, Big Hairy Deal in the Galaxies.
So, did you say nice to meet you, Big Harry Deal?
Yes.
I wonder if he knew your little inside joke with Dad.
No, he didn't.
Was
know
he a
that.
big person? Was he fat?
No, he was just a little bit taller than me. He wasn't very big at all.
Oh, my. And why are we talking about him? Something just happened, right? He just passed
He
away?
passed away Saturday,
Oh. How old was he?
76.
76. Do we know how he died? Or
It didn't say in the paper.
yeah, that was in
I
the
think it was from eating chicken.
too much chicken picking. Maybe he farted in bed and his guts out. Maybe Gene Tracey has something to do with it. So that's crazy. I hadn't heard of him. I remember you saying that all the time.
All the time,
Like Dad
yeah.
would say something. Well, Big Harry Deal, the Galaxies, and I did not know that it was an actual band. I thought that was just something that you made up, or maybe that was a slogan from your time, and I didn't know.
No, it's just
But
something I started saying to Dad when he thought he had something great to say.
Yeah, it started with if you do something that didn't particularly like, she would say, "Well, big deal,"
Right.
And then it went from that to Big Hairy Deal,
and
and then
it
from
just
that
continued.
to Big Hairy Deal in the Galaxies.
I think we
You
should
know.
extend it. Well,
Yeah,
Big Harry
yeah.
Deal and the Galaxies from Taylorsville, who owned the chicken pickings.
Yes.
It's like a full paragraph now. Well, I was looking up I Still Love You, and I'm going to see if we can play some of it here. Looks like I found it.
Here I stand, looking at you. When I know you've been untrue,
I like it.
what can I say? What can I do? 'Cause I still love you.
Oh, did you and Dad slow dance to this chicken picking? All right. Wow.
There you go.
Blast from the past.
They were very good. Their beach music was great.
Wow. So you didn't know him until, you knew him as a famous singer. You never ran into him out on the street in Taylorsville.
No, other than the two times we went to his place.
You
And
went
then-
to, his
yeah.
chicken pickings place.
And then at one time at the movie theater. Yeah.
Oh, you saw him at the movie theater too?
Yeah. He was standing right beside him, and David said,
Oh, that's when he
Look
said that.
beside- yeah.
Oh, I got you. Wow. What an informative, amazing podcast we did today. Another episode of Fried in the Can, everybody. This has been a lot of fun Dad, what do you think? Did you have a good time?
I did. This was fun.
Well, we should do more of these.
All right.
We're going to get you a segment. Mom already has her movie reviews, and we're going to go see Star Wars tonight.
That'll be fun.
I'm very excited for that. Mom can make it because she's not feeling well. But if not, we'll figure something out. But we're going to go see Star Wars tonight. Sarah is going to do another podcast by herself for the next Friday, I believe.
Hey, Sarah.
So everybody say, hey, Sarah. I hope she's having fun.
Hey, Sarah.
We missed you. What else are we forgetting, Dad? Anything else?
I think you got it.
I think we pretty much got it all.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody. Hope you have a happy Friday.
And the radio up, I like to see sunrise. See the love in my woman's eyes. Feel the touch of my precious child. And no mother's love